All right, so hey, Cat Six, Stepback Rocker here, and today I'm going to be telling you about a record for beginner record collectors, a record player that you should stay away from at all times. Okay, so one of the main mistakes that record collectors, at least when they begin their record collecting, when they start off, is for obviously buying a record turntable. Okay. And one of the main mistakes that some, people new to that may make is buying a cheap turntable. Okay. And I've noticed that, someone will buy a record and then they'll go to Walmart and try to find the cheapest record player, cheapest turntable they could find just because it's cheap and it's there, right? Don't do that, all right? Don't go for the cheapest record player or the cheapest turntable, whatever you want to call it. It's not worth it. All right. So whether you're brand new to record collecting or you've been doing it for a while, all right, one of the main things is getting a good turntable. Okay. Whether you have a few records, like whether, you got 3 records or you got more than 3 and you got a whole pile. One of the main things you want to have is a good turntable. All right, you want to have one that sounds good, looks good, plays good, and doesn't fuck up your records when they play. Okay, you don't want them to have scratches on it by the time you're done listening to them. All right, and one of the main problems that I see beginner record collectors go for is the cheaper turntables, the ones that are gonna fuck up your records so they never play again. All right, that's something you do not want to go for. All right. What I have currently, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret right now. I currently have the Victrola 6-in-1. All right. It's a very good record turntable. It's got 6 things in one. It's got a CD player, cassette player, vinyl turntable, radio, and Bluetooth, and FM radio. All right. 6 things in one. And it's a very good turntable. And it's very cheap, too. For a record player turntable, it's very cheap. I'm not saying you have to buy some expensive-ass turntable. Just even something like $100, man, can get you so far ways than a $50 turntable. All right? My current record turntable, I paid about $120 for, all right? And it works fine. And it looks good, and it sounds good. Now, obviously, after time, the sound will not sound so good. You have to put on a new needle for it. But while you have the needle in good shape, the thing will sound good. And that's what you want. You don't want some $50 turntable that doesn't do anything. All right? So, yeah, stay away from that. You don't want that. All right? Tip for you guys. Don't buy the cheapest turntable because it's there. All right? It's cheap. It's not made good. And it's going to fuck up your records. You don't want that. All right? And one thing that catches my eye straight away when I look off of the cheap turntables that people make is the way the record sits on the turntable itself. So, a record, let's just pull out one for example here. Let's pull out this Van Halen Diver Down record just for an example here. All right, when a record sits on a turntable, guys, it's supposed to sit flat on a turntable. All right? Let's go and just take this record out for an example here. All right? When a record sits on a turntable, it's supposed to be like this. Right? Flat. It shouldn't be hanging over. If the record is hanging over off the turntable, that's a sign you don't want to put your record on that. Because that's going to mess it up completely. All right? Because that's what cheaper companies do. They make cheap turntables and they make it so where the record hangs off. And if something were to happen, man, like let's say the top falls on your record, that's going to damage a record to where you never get to play it ever again. And you don't want that, right? So therefore, just don't go for it, all right? But instead, go for something that's not as expensive, but is solid and does the job for a turntable. All right, like I mentioned before, the Victrola 6-in-1. Like I have back there. You can see it back there. That's the one I have, and that's the one I've been using for the past year now. And it works fantastic. It sounds good. It's got a lot of great features to it. And it's overall a pretty good price. $120 for 6 features, and it sounds good too and plays good. That's a good turntable to me. I recommend it. All right? Just I just thought I'd let you guys know, all right? If you're new to vinyl collecting or you're just now getting into it, stay away from the cheap turntables, all right? They're not worth it. Just because they're cheap doesn't mean they're going to be good. It means they're probably going to be bad, all right? And yeah, it's a turntable, you know? It's not going to be as good sounding as the radio, you know, or something, your phone, or whatever. But you at least want it to sound as good as you can get it, right? So don't go for the cheap turntables because they're going to make it sound terrible. Go for the at least $100 range ones. That's what I would go for. Now, if you want to go for the really expensive ones, be my guest. But if you don't want to and you want something that I personally have, is the $100 6-in-1 Victrola. Works very well. I recommend it. So thank you all for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. I will see y'all next time. Peace.